After some time, you learn the difference, the subtle difference between holding a hand and changing a soul. And you learn that love doesn't mean leaning, and company doesn't always mean security. And you begin to learn that kisses aren't contracts, and presents aren't promises. And you begin to accept your defeats, with your head up and your eyes ahead, with the grace of a woman, not the grief of a child. And you learn to build all your roads on today, because tomorrow's ground is too uncertain for plans, and futures have a way of falling down in mid-fight. After a while you learn that even the sun burns if you get too much, and learn that it doesn't matter how much you care about. Some people simply don't care at all. And you accept that it doesn't matter how good a person is. She will hurt you once in a while, and you need to forgive her for that. You learn that talking can relieve emotional pain. You discover that it takes several years to build a relationship based on confidence, and just a few seconds to destroy it. And that you can do something just in an instant, and which you will regret for the rest of your life. You learn that the true friendships continue to grow even from miles away, and that what matters isn't what you have in your life, but who you have in your life. And the good friends are the family which allows us to choose. You learn that we don't have to switch our friends if we understand that friends can also change. You realize that you and your best friend can do anything or nothing and have good moments together. You discover that the people who you most care about in your life are taken from you so quickly, so we must always leave the people who we care about with lovely words. It may be the last time we see them. You learn that the circumstances and the environment have influence upon us, but we are responsible for ourselves. You start to learn that you should not compare yourself with others, but with the best you can be. You discover that it takes a long time to become the person you wish to be, and the time is short. You learn that it doesn't matter where you have reached, but where you are going to. But if you don't know where you are going to, anywhere will do. You learn that either you control your acts, or they shall control you. And that to be flexible doesn't mean to be weak or not to have a personality, because it doesn't matter how delicate and fragile the situation is, there are always two sides. You learn that heroes are those who did what was necessary to be done, facing the consequences. You learn that patience demands a lot of practice. You discover that sometimes the person who you most expect to be kicked by when you fall is one of the few who will help you to stand up. You learn that maturity has more to do with the kinds of experience you had and what you have learned from them than how many birthdays you have celebrated. You learn that there are more from your parents inside you than you thought. You learn that we shall never tell a child that dreams are silly. Very few things are so humiliating, and it would be a tragedy if she believed in it. You learn that when you are angry, you have the right to be angry, but it doesn't give you the right to be cruel. You discover that only because someone doesn't love you the way you should like her to, it doesn't mean that this person doesn't love you the most she can, because there are people who love us but just don't know how to show or like that. You learn that sometimes isn't enough being forgiven by someone. Sometimes you have to learn how to forgive yourself. You learn that with the same harshness you judge, someday you will be condemned. You learn that it doesn't matter in how many pieces your heart has been broken, the world doesn't stop for you to fix it. You learn that time isn't something you can turn back, therefore you must plant your own garden and decorate your own soul instead of waiting for someone to bring you flowers. And you learn that you really can endure. You really are strong.